how's it going? Another episode here of Fireside Chats. Today what we're going to be talking about is something that a buddy of mine, him and I talked about this past weekend in regards to developing heart, grit, mental tenacity, whatever terminology you want to use. And what we both kind of agreed on is the fact that, in my honest opinion, or in our honest opinion in this case, it's extremely difficult, if not impossible, to develop this grit as an adult. Reason being is that when you're an adult, you have the ability of self-autonomy. Now, obviously you still have that as a child, but if you have quality parents, guardians, mentors, whoever is a big part of your life, whoever that was when you were a child, if they cared about you and wanted to see you at your absolute best, then they didn't give you an out. They didn't give you an option to quit. Now, obviously, if you never had that as a child and you had the option to quit it at your whim and there was nobody there to pull you back up and get you back on your feet, then now as an adult, if you try to or attempt to embrace this adversity, which obviously I've talked about in the past how important it is, it's all too easy for those individuals to just quit and give up. Reason being is that they have no reference point as to what it feels like to push past your preconceived limits. Because in the past, again, as a child, they never had that adversity. Now, again, I'm not saying that you had to have extreme adversity in your life to reap the benefits. You know, you don't have to have been homeless and kicked out of your house and all these extremes of adversity, but just something as simple as having, again, family, mentors, parents in your life that when the going got tough, they still push you forward and didn't give you an option to quit. And as a child, you were able to develop that resilience that you carry on now to as an adult. So that's why, again, my buddy's opinion and myself, that when you're an adult, from what I've seen in the past, going to, say, regular fitness gyms or CrossFit gyms, these people that have embraced this new fitness lifestyle, I see them quit on themselves earlier than they should have been because, again, more than likely than not, they didn't have that ability to grow that resilience as a child. Now, again, I'm not saying that if you have never had adversity when you were little that it's impossible for you to push yourself as an adult, but it's going to be, in my opinion and from experience, a lot more difficult for you, or you're going to have a longer learning curve, so to speak, in order to reap the benefits of embracing that adversity. So just kind of food for thought on that. Again, you may have different experiences, but for me, what I've seen in the past is that, again, if it wasn't developed when you were younger, it's very difficult for you to develop it as an adult when you have the autonomy now to say, wow, this is difficult, this is strenuous, I'm just going to stop doing it. Because, again, you have the option now as a grown adult to do so. And I'm not trying to trail off here of the subject at hand, but what kind of really started that conversation off between my friend and I was the fact that too many people in the current society, they are afraid of adversity and they're fearful of it, and that's what drives them to, again, quit on themselves. And the reason that it scares them is the moment that you accept full responsibility for your actions in life, the good and the bad, the great achievements and the shitty lows, once you embrace that, it's terrifying. It's terrifying for some people to accept that everything is their fault, the good and the bad. So for most people, the most anxious people that I have met in my life, the most anxiety-ridden, the most sad and depressed people I've met, it's because that they avoid adversity like it's the plague, like it's the worst thing that is ever going to come across in their life. When in reality, it's the best thing that could ever happen to them, because they will fully see how far that they can actually push themselves. So again, sit on that, think about it, put the practice into your life if applicable, and as always, stay safe out there. Have a good one.